Hi there, my name is Suze and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So today, Saturday, I love to do these astrological weekend forecasts. I started doing the Feminine Fridays, Feminine Energy Tip of the Day on Fridays, and a lot of you have really liked that. And so I kind of wanted to bring some more like specific focuses into the different days that I talk about. And so I decided that Saturday is going to be my astrological forecast, and we'll talk about different things that are going on astrologically. Astrology is something that I am starting to study and to really get into a lot more deeply than I had in the past, because in the past couple of years, I've noticed how you can't deny the connection between the astrology and what is bubbling up in our personal lives. And so it's more than just, it's kind of morphed for me, right? It's like astrology, if you understand what is happening astrologically, and then you understand the energies around us that are at play, you can use those energies for good in your life, right? Go along with the energies that are available to really mold your life in the direction you want to go and kind of get an extra oomph out of different aspects of our lives. And so that's what I really love to use astrology for. It's not about I powerlessness, right? And like, I can't do anything. This is just what's happening astrologically and I just got to go along with it. No, let's learn what's happening astrologically so that we can have greater understanding of ourselves and our current dynamics, and also learn to use the energies of whatever is coming up to create empowerment, right? My kids and we have this fun little thing they like to do with me. And I always say, anything can be good or bad. Anything can be used for good or for evil. Everything has a light side and a shadow side, right? And so sometimes, when we're at the dinner table having meals and whatnot, they'll ask me and they'll try to stump me, right? And they're like, well, what about this? What is a good side of this? Or what is good about this, And it's just really kind of cool to see how the human mind limits the expression of energy and limits all that we are able and could potentially be in this world by these limited mental connotations and these mental belief systems. And it's really kind of cool to see my kids exploring and understanding that there's so much more than what may be presented to them in their 3D world, or how other people may have their opinions and their belief systems and their viewpoints and their associations with particular things, and how I can show a greater sense of these words and these thoughts and these energies, really, right? So it's the same with astrology, right? You can either use it to completely go into a victim mindset of, well, I can't do anything because this is just what it is, or you can learn to work with what is to bring out a higher sense of self and propel you forward. It's like with anything, with triggers, right? Triggers in general. A trigger, something that comes up, is simply an aspect of ourselves, a wounded, formerly rejected, or abandoned part of ourselves that is asking for attention, that is asking for love, that is asking for healing, so that we may move into a greater sense of self and a more whole sense of self, right? So anyway, all of that to say, today is Saturday for me, or whenever you see this video, it's perfectly meant for you, and there will be some nugget of truth in here for you whenever you find this video. So today we're going to talk about Neptune in particular. We're going to talk about Neptune. And Neptune is a planet I never really knew a whole lot about, but Neptune is at play right now. So before I get into talking about Neptune and the moon, you guys can probably see behind me, I have my little candles lit because we are in the middle of a lunation right now. So I have my candles for my intentions, for my manifestation. If you want more on that, I believe it was last Saturday, I did the new moon in Gemini astrological forecast, talking about what we can juice out of, power out of this lunation of the new moon in Gemini moving into the full moon. So before I get into all of that, I do have an announcement. For the rest of this month, in the month of June, I am accepting invitations from anyone who is curious about working with me one-on-one around the divine feminine, divine masculine, energetic healing, balance of the inner masculine and feminine, really creating that whole sense of self, right? Getting out of codependency, getting out of those karmic loops and patterns, getting out of those belief systems that are keeping you, again, in that limited expression of self. All of that under the realm of the divine feminine on the ascension path of really embracing your divine feminine, which does include incorporating that healed masculine energy back in yourself, inner union. Anything along that. For the rest of the month of June, I am accepting invitations for anyone who is curious about working with me. I have opened a few slots for my one-on-one clients in July. So I'm kind of going through invitations for the remainder of this month for anyone who's curious. If you want more information and want to connect with me and have a call to see more what my services would look like and if we would truly be a good fit in working together, in the description box below, you can find my email. You also find my Instagram is also in the description box and a link to my website. So there's many different places you can get in touch with me, and that's kind of how I'm doing it at this time, is more of an email or DM kind of a base. So if you want to get more information and talk to me, share a little bit of your story with me, get in touch with me that way. I love hearing all of the stories and all of the relevance of all of these divine feminines coming together. This year is a really exciting year for the masculine. A really exciting year for the masculine. So if there's some last little tweaks you want to do with yourself internally, now is the time. It is your time right now to prepare yourself for the incoming of your divine masculine. Now is the time to put those finishing little tweaks onto yourself in your wholeness, in your empress, goddess, high priestess, all of the things, whichever one you resonate with the most. Now is the time to finally crown yourself in that position of divine feminine so your divine masculine may come in and you are ready to receive him. Because this year, there's a lot happening with the masculine and the divine masculine, a lot of divine intervention. Thank God, finally, right? So anyway, all of that aside, let's get into Neptune. Let's get into the astrology, right? The fun stuff. I really, really am loving what I'm learning about all the astrology pieces. So for Neptune is one of those planets on the outer edges of what we know as the kind of the place that we sit in the universe, right? It's one of those outer planets that we know of. And so Neptune is a very slow moving planet. Neptune is actually in retrograde and will be in retrograde for roughly the next 6 months. So if you know anything about retrogrades, right? Everyone knows Mercury retrograde, but if you know anything about retrogrades, it is an opportunity, is an invitation for us to go inward, to really go inward, get really honest with yourself, and really look at some things that maybe you may not have wanted to be looking at, okay? So with Neptune in the next roughly 6 months, it's an invitation to really look at your daily routines and your daily habits and the things that have just become locked into your life as part of your life and things that you do. And again, that routine kind of stuff. And make sure that your daily routines, the things that you're just now have locked into place and are just doing kind of out of habit, are these things really supporting the bigger picture of the life I want? And really go through this with a fine-tooth comb here. It's great. 6 months is a great amount of time to really be able to get really clear and go through each and every aspect of your life. You know, zoom in here, really zoom in. A great helpful tool is if you have your birth chart, right? And you know that big wheel that you have and all the houses in it. Go through each house and the aspect of life that each house highlights, whether it be the internal spiritual self or the external physical world, relationships, your home life, your family life, friendships, romantic partnerships, work partnerships, work and career in general, money, stability, spiritual growth, your soul, the North Node. Go through each aspect, every little nook and cranny of the aspects of your life that make it what it is. And make sure everything that you're doing in your routines and where you're investing your energy is actually leading you to what you want out there in the whole sense of self, in the fully empowered, fully embodied, fully integrated 10 of Cups energy, like I love to say, that 10 of Cups, total emotional fulfillment in all things, total emotional fulfillment. Am I really doing all these things? What do I need more of? Or maybe, what have I allowed to fall by the wayside because I've been focusing more on one particular aspect than another particular aspect? Is there something missing? Is there something that I kind of let fall by the wayside that I need to bring back into balance here, or I need to bring it back in because it does make me feel, again, fulfilled? Are all my daily little menial little decisions in a day, are they all, and I have to say, I just looked at my timer and it was 11:11. Are all of my little decisions in the day, are they really giving me results that make me feel fulfilled, really fulfilled? Are they in alignment with my higher sense of self, my higher timeline, my higher path, my higher life in general? Really use this time to get really clear. Am I really locking in things that are really helping me? Or am I staying small? This is a great time to look at, and I love talking about sabotage, right? Self-sabotage, relationship sabotage. I love talking about sabotage. And here's a time to really slow down and see where that may be creeping up. What are my patterns? What are the patterns that I'm engaging in that ultimately bring me to a place where I don't feel emotional fulfillment and I feel negative energies, I feel negative emotions? Is there any cycle I am participating in that ultimately always leads me to this place where I really don't want to be? What can I do to change that? What needs to happen? This is really, really amazing. I love this. Again, if you want to know more about the lunation we are in with Gemini, please do look at last Saturday's video and check that out. I will leave this here. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate your support by subscribing or leaving me a comment. Let me know you are here and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.